and welcome to the Rollers and the Rockers podcast, brought to you by Bankwest. My name is Hayley.
I'm not even looking at you.
I know, and it's so obvious that you're not looking at me. Do I start again? Yeah. I was going to say, just keep going. He's going to put all this in anyway. He's not going to restart. He just makes me continue on. Anyway. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the Rollers and the Rockers podcast, brought to you by Bankwest. My name is Hayley Miller and I'm joined by my co-host, Emerald Driscoll. Welcome.
Hello, my friend.
This is a setup. It's quite the setup. Let's set the scene.
Yeah, we're actually, if my paper blows with the wind one more time, speaking of the chairs, we're in the Bankwest Best Seats in the house.
At Optus Stadium. So
Incredible.
That's
our guest shoes near my face and knee and body.
We're
And
also sitting, what's this? Like facing outwards, so we
To
can't
the
actually
oval.
see each other that well.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna
But
have a wry neck
for
after
watching
this.
football, they are the best seats in the house. They may not be the best seats in the house for doing a podcast.
No, but they're elite. They are even just looking down now. It looks great. The deck looks great.
It looks absolutely fantastic.
The soccer was here yesterday.
It was. The Matildas.
Yep.
We watched Sam Kerr,
Oh,
hat-trick, and Caitlin Ford, might I add.
I'm
Absolutely
sorry, but the
fantastic.
best thing was Miller and I actually sat next to each other at the Matildas, and I think she's got bruises on her bicep from me grabbing her every single time there was a goal scored.
And I said 6-0 and I still wasn't right with
She
that.
was
I thought I was going
unreal.
over.
Unreal.
I thought you were going to say I have bruises from you turning around to talk to people behind me and leaning back on me. That you tend to do. And actually, I reckon after the first 4 goals, I had to keep grabbing your arm and being like, there's about to be another one because you almost missed a few.
Sorry, I was distracted. But also, speaking of soccer, it's a good segue into our guest.
Would you like to that? Hang on, we're going to do one last little bit about Bankwest. So if you are listening or watching this, you can enter. You can actually enter to win a chance to sit in these best seats simply by searching Bankwest Best Seats. There you go.
You had me at these best seats.
I can't deal with you. Anyway, quickly before we move on to our guest, Driscoll, do you have a rating for Mads last week?
I thought it was actually pretty good.
I learned a lot. Didn't know she was so smart.
I actually think I'm going to give Maddie a 9. Like, she's a perfectionist, so
Whoa.
she's probably not going to be happy with
No,
that. But
she's not.
that performance at the end in a British accent for 2.5 minutes is that good.
I sent that into our in our players group chat with no context whatsoever, and everyone's like, "Who is that? What is this?" I was like, "You just enjoy the show.
Just enjoy.
Just enjoy the show." Now, locking in this week's guest has been. It's been difficult to say the least. So initially it was going to be Michaela Morrison. Actually, we've tried to get her on multiple times.
Morris
and she's
actually really
dodging
hard.
and weaving.
Yeah.
But she's still in Broome. So I did a whole script for her. She didn't want to turn up.
Yep.
Talia Mulder, TJ, was the next option. She had work. So lucky I didn't do a script for her. So
Did she actually have work, or
She
is it
probably
the
did.
new puppy? She's just got a new puppy and it looks
Probably.
like a piece of KFC chicken. So I'd be at home with that thing too.
It
Not
does,
eating it,
does.
but hanging out with it.
Little Ziggy. And then Serena Gibbs was the other one that was supposed to be on, and she even had a post about her, got all the fans involved, and turns out she's now, unfortunately, in concussion protocols. But anyway, wrote a script for that one too. Thought it was a pretty good script, actually.
That's
But
great.
anyway, so our guest, you weren't our first choice, or our second, or our third, for that matter.
She's actually already been on the pod 3 times.
This is the third. Well, this is the third. Welcome, Ange. Do you feel welcome?
I mean, thanks so much for having me on. I'm here if you need, basically.
Yeah, basically,
Last
you were
caller.
the old here if you need. No one's available. Ange,
Here
are
to
you
fill the
available?
hole.
Yeah.
But, it'll be off the cuff today. Unless you want to ask me all of Mads' questions and Serena's questions.
Yes.
And Morrow's questions. We can
Yes.
take that.
Got
on
so
board if
many
you need.
questions, but none of them are for you.
Yeah.
I think you were actually the sympathy vote, if I'm honest. Like
Mate.
Brett called you with the puppy eyes on and said, "Look, we've got no other option."
You should have heard Brett on the phone. I
Yeah.
couldn't say no to
Yeah.
him. The poor bloke. So
It's great.
we're here now. In the best seats in the house.
Yes.
Stunning.
Yes, we are.
These best seats.
These ones right here.
I can't deal with
No,
you.
they're actually, and you set the scene from your own eyes.
Well, I'm looking at you two big heads, and I can't really see Miller's because yours is in the way. But isn't it stunning up here?
So I keep having to lean right over. I'm probably not even in my
Not very
camera shot.
ergonomical.
Can you tell that we've got nothing to talk about?
Where's the script, Brett?
Oh, no.
Going down
Well,
onto the ground. It's too
okay,
windy.
Ange, how are you feeling about
Yeah.
being on the podcast for the third time?
Oh, thrilled.
We're not asking you the questions again. I don't want to hear your life story again.
No, please don't.
We've been through that.
I'm sick of that.
So let's...
Also, it's fitting though that we've got Ange on
Yes.
for this week. Is that what
It
you're
is
going
because,
into?
yeah, it is Pride round this weekend, round 10. We're going to get into the jumper a little bit later, but Ange did design the jumper or the idea for it. Did you do the artwork too?
Oh, I wish I could claim that artwork. No, thankfully, Anna from upstairs is amazing at what she does and pulled it all together and made it look really pretty.
So good.
So we are going to finish with a bang on that one, but let's do a quick recap of the weekend that was just gone. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Lacey, who came with her dad to the airport.
Oh, so sweet.
To, well, I guess get her. She had some stuff to sign, and the reasoning for coming to the airport was because she couldn't get close enough at games, and it's too many people. And I was like, fair enough. That is commitment to get to the airport. And I asked how they knew, and they just said they guessed. I was like, that's fantastic.
Very good.
Look at
and
that.
Also, what was it? Saturday night.
Yeah.
At what time?
How'd you guess what
9
time?
PM?
Yeah, it was
Well done.
fairly late. But I'm trying to get Lacey to play football. She doesn't actually play football. Her dad's been trying to get her to play. So
Come on,
shout out
Lace.
to you,
Come on,
Lacey.
Lace.
And I'd like to know, now, she's a fan of the podcast as well. But Lacey, you're going to play football next year.
Lacey, lace up your boots.
Absolutely. I love that. All right. So recapping versus Melbourne, it was always going to be a tough contest against the reigning premiers. Ange, what was your thoughts of the game itself?
Yeah, tough contest. But I don't know, I was really proud of our group for like the way that we did bring it. Obviously, we've been building for a couple of weeks now and it wasn't the result that we wanted, but there was a lot of positives from it. A few of our players really stood up. Meg's Coffee, hello.
Yeah. Hello, 3 goals.
Bag full.
I didn't realise she hadn't kicked a goal this season yet.
She was good.
Yeah, neither.
And she just... But I feel like she's always there. She's setting up everyone
saved it
else's
for the
goals.
big moment.
Yeah.
But hello, I'll just kick all of them. Jump on my back, girls.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got this.
Yeah,
My
she'll have a
shoulders
bit of
are
a-
sore.
Yeah, sure shoulders today.
Shoulders.
Shoulders.
But also, I actually thought that you two were really good, both of you, either
Yeah,
side
well,
of me.
I thought you were really good.
Yeah.
I was horrendous.
I always
That's
think
okay,
you're
though.
really good.
I was absolutely horrendous on the weekend. I couldn't
Oh,
even
I thought you were
see.
fishing there.
I was 5 steps behind, but that's okay though because it meant
John, that's not a...
the
it's
other
a tough,
backs did really well.
It's a tough, for forwards and backs really, to read what the ball's doing in those conditions.
Oh, that's
because
another thing.
The ball fly, it either
an
drops
absolute
10
gale.
metres
Yeah.
at least shorter than what
Yeah.
you think, or
Yeah.
it flies 10 metres further than what you think it's
Juice,
going
I think
to.
you're being incredibly harsh on yourself, but
Well-
also when I see you or Pewee or Phil or anyone back
got
there one-on-one running back in a foot race towards the goal,
So
I'm
scary.
thinking, my goodness, I don't miss that.
Yeah, I know
So
it's horrendous.
hats off to you.
Stressful.
No, but like I said, it was good to have a challenge, and I guess from a backs perspective, Melbourne forwards are they're all good. Like they don't really have a weak link down there, so it was good for us to have to step up against some of those really, really good players, and like I said, we couldn't get the win, but I actually thought the first half, the way that we held with them was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So well done, girls.
Oh, well done, girls.
But,
I think everyone was a little bit worse for wear getting off the flight.
Yeah.
yeah.
Saturday night though, a few hobbles. I mean,
Everyone was
surely
cool,
we've got to
hey?
find that video of Hayley over here.
Yeah, that's what we didn't.
Absolutely
That's
just
what,
waddling into the airport.
that's exactly what's on the
Brett,
script next.
That's a prompt for you to cut that in.
Yeah, so,
No,
well...
we've got it here.
It
I've
is
jumped
in-
the gun.
No, it's all right. It's coming up. It's in this section. So, well, what happened was it looks like I've got
No.
some serious injury, but I've just got some very large blood blisters right on the ball of the foot.
No, but also Miller was telling me that they're actually your bursa being inflamed as well though. Like it's underneath that too.
So,
'Cause you were making
there's actually
donuts for them.
This is a separate issue. So,
Oh.
so because I've got like the inflamed burst on it, so I've had these foot issues for a few
Sounds
weeks now.
delightful.
It sounds great. It's awesome. Right on the ball of your foot, right where you run all the time. Anyway, it's been sore for a while. We've been treating it, and then this time. So normally I'd like pat it up more, but I've been treating it so I can't really feel it so much. And I was really worried last week that this was going to happen, and I put all the like blister proofing on it. Nothing, like it was all good last week. So then I was like, went into a false sense of security. And that was the worst thing I could have done because I put maybe one layer of fixed moles, like that'll do.
But
And
hey,
then
you know what? You didn't ask for a wheelchair like Ebony Antonio did one year.
Do you know what? It was going through my head the
Get
whole
the
time.
picture up again of that.
Do you know what? At the airport, they're
Wheelchair
like,
for
"This is a
blisters.
long walk." They're like, "Do you want, like we can get you something, like get you a
No.
wheelchair?" And I was like, I have been giving Ebony for 6 years about that. I cannot get in a wheelchair
all
for
fairness,
blisters.
though,
They're pretty
people
bad.
would know how bad blisters actually are. Like, you cannot even wear footwear. Like, Miller
Yeah.
walking in here today, even in her sneakers, like, was unreal. I've got my dogs out because I was like, I'm not risking getting any blisters.
No.
But we've got to get the video of you actually popping this blood blister where
that
it
is
has
so good.
squirted across your table.
The table. I did not expect. So I've like popped blood blister, and I don't think, like, disclaimer, I don't think that's what you're supposed to do, but I couldn't not do it. It was like
I think
full.
you can.
It was like
Throbbing. I'm
full
pretty sure
and
you mentioned
throbbing, and I was like, nah, it's got to go. And I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't expect there to be so much pressure that it then
No.
shot out.
That's enough.
It shot across the table.
It's
I was like,
actually
oh no,
rank.
I've done it on the white,
No.
on the white like little carpet area, but I don't think it made it to the carpet.
No
Didn't
way.
find any
I
blood
would
on
be
there.
telling the doctor to jab me
You'd get
every
a
single
local,
week.
you
like
would.
100%.
Well, that's the problem. I
I
already was
100%
getting
would.
locals for the other
For the other
issues, so now just add a little extra in
It's
there.
actually so funny. Like, I went and got my, speaking of feet, I went and got my my toenails painted the other day. They actually look great. Manning Nails for a shout out. And I get so embarrassed about, does anyone else get embarrassed going in to get a pedicure?
I don't let anyone touch my feet.
No, well, they have to see how I was going to say effed up my feet are. How effed up my feet are.
Football
I didn't say the
boots,
actual
though.
word, bro.
Anyone who wears footy, soccer boots, your
Do you know,
feet
whenever I
aren't
go
gonna be
and they
pretty
want to like get rid of the calluses,
Yeah, no.
and I'm like, don't touch them. I
Nah,
need them. They're
see-
good for my feet. I
They're
need
my
them.
armour.
My lady, I'm like, get the biggest scissors you got out, love, because I want them cut
tight.
off.
Really?
Like on my big toe.
I feel like that would
Nah.
just mean that you get blisters more often.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
like. I
that
need
callus.
the.
No.
God, imagine if I didn't have the
like
callus.
when
Anyways, this is a delight
Yeah.
to listen to so far.
Moving on.
Moving on
What,
quickly.
what else can we talk about?
I've got
Okay,
some
you
stuff
go.
written down. We're just speaking still about the away trip to Melbourne, but the away trips in general. We have brought up Mafia on the podcast before. For those that don't know, Miller's really got around it this season, which I love, and had Mim Strom had Ange wrapped around her finger on the weekend.
I've got to say, one of my worst games yet to date. I've
was
never been more
horrendous by you.
confused, stressed. I went through a full roller coaster of emotions after that game. Within that game, Mim
So-
had me wrapped around her finger.
I'll just put a bit
explain-
of context to this. So we play. So does everyone know the rules? Do you reckon?
no,
yeah.
no
Okay.
one's
So
gonna
basically,
know them. People
Mafia.
aren't gonna know
Just a
those.
quick rundown. Add anything in if you can think of, girls. But you sit in a circle. I'm the narrator because I have a control problem.
I'm not. She's not let anyone else have a turn at that.
and
Everyone's too scared to ask. Also,
we sit in a circle, and Mim actually came up with the idea of handing out cards to determine the roles of people. But basically, everyone in the circle is a civilian until I tap you on the head when your eyes are closed to determine if you're in the Mafia. And the Mafia are basically a team, and then the civilians are another team. But no one knows who's a civilian or who's in the Mafia. Every single night, we close our eyes in the circle, and the Mafia wake up and then choose someone to kill. And so then everyone wakes up, and then I disclose who that person was, and then everyone needs to vote on who they think the Mafia is.
But there's also a detective.
There's a-
Investigator.
Yep.
And a doctor.
And the investigator can point to anyone in the room, and I have to tell them whether they're in the Mafia or not. And the doctor can save the person that the Mafia have chosen to kill if they match that exact person.
but
So
they
it's-
don't know who it is, so they just have to guess someone and
It's
hope for the best.
as Megs Kaufman says, it's a game of strategy and lies.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
Like you've-
actually not a great team building game.
No,
It's not.
it breaks
You turn
it breaks
against each other.
trust. Yep, it
I reckon
does.
I played it like a couple of years ago, and I think I may have been maybe the investigator or something my very first time, and I was overwhelmed and I didn't play again for 2 years until this year. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? I've
built the courage back
I've broken it down. I'm like, okay, you can have another turn. And then I had a turn and I was just a civilian and I loved it.
Look,
and I was like,
good.
and then I was in the mafia and then I hated it because you have to lie if you're in the mafia,
do.
and I don't like lying.
You have to lie.
I actually
I'm not very good at it.
really dislike being in the mafia.
Oh.
I love being a civilian because I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll say whatever I want. I know I'm telling the truth
Yeah.
here. La la
Yeah.
la.
Yeah.
I will be a dead giveaway if I'm in the mafia because I suck at lying.
Well, this is, I guess, how it happened on the weekend then. So Ange is a civilian here in this game.
Fighting the good fight for the good people.
Fighting the good fight for the good people, and she is sitting next to Mim Strom, who is in the mafia. And Mim Strom is a veteran at this game, very good player.
I'd say she's the best
I would say she's the
player
best.
in the team. Her
She's-
and Pewee,
very good.
Her and Pewee are
MVP.
two of the best
100%
in the team.
They're
at this
very
game.
smart at what they do. Anyways, when you're sitting next to someone, you want to try and, I guess, figure out what they are and become allies if you can, right? And well, that's Ange's thoughts anyway, because she's trying to get Mim on board. We're allies. Let's work together
Mim
here.
was just so unassuming and she was seemed so genuine. When I asked her, I looked her in the eyes and I said, Mim, are you the mafia? Because I'm about to tell you something. Are you the mafia? And she was like, no, Ange, I'm not the mafia. And I clearly am incredibly gullible and just believed Mim's sweet little face. And then, bombshell, she ended up being in the mafia.
So we've actually got the vision of this because Amy Mulholland was filming at the time that Ange got killed. So Ange got killed. I've had to tell Ange Stannett, you're out of the game. Ange sits on the floor. The following round, when everyone closes their eyes and I ask the mafia to wake up, Mim Strom wakes up and Ange is not having it.
I was filthy. I was ready to pop, kill the mafia off.
But it is classic, so we'll get that up.
It's a classic.
Goodness me.
It is a classic game.
Yeah, well, we had to really work on patching it up before the game the next day. The
Yeah,
actual
it was-
football game.
Oh, sorry,
We
yeah.
needed our
Yeah.
midfield
We
to
need-
work together.
Really
So
work together.
Mim and Ange were on the same team the following day.
We shook hands before we got on the bus and said, truce. I've got your back out
So
there.
we're both civilians today.
I'll make sure I communicate with you out there. I've got your back.
Now,
And we left it at the hotel.
speaking of game day that we didn't mention funny things that happened, we may have left the coach at the hotel.
I mean,
No.
whose job is it to count?
Yeah.
It's actually
Renshaw.
that funny though.
It's funny because when we were getting back on the bus to go to the airport, Renshaw was there with her paper counting, and
No.
I was like, interesting. Did you
I-
forget someone on the way here?
Froth that AFL Women's reshared that video as well. How classic.
But
So
also
funny.
that not a single person on the bus realised. Like
No.
we had driven probably like 7 minutes down the road and
Yeah.
no one realised, oh, hang on a minute, we actually don't have our head coach.
It was longer than 7 because I needed to go to the toilet and
Yeah.
it definitely felt like our trip was over an hour.
It
Yeah.
was
just
it was
the
long.
sight of her standing on the side of the
Oh,
road
so
with her,
funny.
with her bag.
suitcase like a hitchhiker.
So what I think
It's actually
happened
hilarious.
was, so Renshaw gets this call from Lisa, and Lisa goes, "Hey, where are you?" And Renshaw goes, "Oh, I'm at the front of the bus. Where are you?" She goes, I'm out the front of the hotel."
No.
And she was like, Anyway, she should have just got an Uber.
She also
because
I thought she was.
we needed to go to the toilet, and then it took another like 10 minutes
No,
to
it
actually
was-
turn the bus around and get back.
It
And
was-
then Driscoll and I almost wet our pants. I've only got a certain window to
No.
get
Yeah,
to
yeah.
where I need to go.
But
before
also
I
Also
need to
mentioned
go.
we're also running a little behind when
Yeah.
we got to the game.
Oh
so
my
everyone was
God.
like charging off the bus.
Yeah.
You got 21 girls who need to go to the toilet.
Also,
Yeah.
Lisa, read the memo. You were late.
No, we left early.
No, but we
Oh.
only left
That was
one.
the
So
issue.
this is what I think. We only left 1 minute early, right?
Yeah, so she
and
wasn't
the
even
bus
there.
is like down the road. You would have seen her. We would have seen her.
She wasn't
If she was
downstairs.
like
She wasn't
coming,
downstairs, no.
well, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes
You
late,
know what?
Lisa.
Get the CCTV
Lisa.
footage. We'll tell
Nah,
everyone the
it's-
truth.
Figure out.
It's that good. But
Anyway,
anyways,
she wasn't happy about it, but
we picked
whose
up the
fault was
coach.
that? Not sure. We went and picked you up anyway. We
Our
got her
own
back.
fault.
Spanner in the works.
Pretty funny.
And
So
we-
she was good at getting back on task.
Yep.
We got to the game, so that's the main thing. Played the game, and then she wasn't late to the airport. So that's great. Moving on, let's just do.
right,
We've
so
got
is it
General
all-
Ange
oh, no.
chat and Dish with Driz. We're kind of mixing
Just
it
mix
into
it together.
one.
Just go with
got
it.
a few things
Put it all
that
in the same bowl.
Yeah.
have
Just go with it.
recently, I guess, a recent in Ange's life that she can talk about that probably she didn't talk about in the last podcast, I would say.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we start with the old stuff that I called her mum about, or the new stuff?
Oh, Mum's
totally up
giving
to
you
you.
the dirt.
Whatever you reckon.
I love that
That's
I
funny.
called Naomi Stannett today, and I said, "Hello, Naomi, it's Emma O'Driscoll here," and she just goes, "Oh, what a surprise!" The most random phone call.
Well, how often do you call my mum?
Yeah,
Of course it's going to be a surprise, Mum. Hello.
It was classic, and she just said that she can remember a few stories about Ange as a little girl.
Little girl.
Also,
Mum's birthday yesterday. Shout out, Mum. Happy birthday.
there you go. Oh, sugar. I shouldn't say happy- She's probably thinking I was ringing to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
She probably was.
Happy birthday,
You're in the
Naomi.
doghouse now.
She told me this one story, and I want to see if you can remember. Do you like sparkling water? And have you always liked it?
Oh, I know this exact story. This is such a silly story. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. I thought when I was little, clearly uncultured, didn't know what sparkling water was. Bought some, realised, oh, it's bubbles after I'd taken a swig of it. And it like tasted gross.
Spat it out in the car park and then said, I only liked it because it was sparkly.
Oh, I thought it was shiny water.
It was shiny water.
How good
I
shiny
don't know how
water,
old
though.
I was then, but
Well, you learn.
we learned.
You learn. You live and you learn.
And now I love sparkling water.
Oh, it's so good. Are you a sparkling water gal?
No.
Nah.
Anyways, your mum also told me a story, and Miller, you might find this surprising. So, Ange, I'm sitting next to our captain and our vice captain right here, okay? Ange, always been quite a vocal one. We talked about her being vocal in Mafia. Her mum reckons that in kindergarten, she didn't speak to not one single person the whole year.
Apparently. I don't
The
remember
whole
it.
year.
Wow.
I was in kindy. No, I didn't like, I don't think, I spoke to like,
Not
What
the
happened to
teacher.
you?
You
No, I
spoke
didn't
to
talk
your
to the
mum and
teacher.
What
your
happened
dad.
to you?
I didn't like
that
other
you-
people
And
apparently.
you had one girl that you spoke to, and then your mum and your dad.
Caitlin was my best mate through primary school.
And that's it.
High
Oh,
school.
wow.
And then like family, friends, family, but
At school, you
teachers
didn't say a
don't
word.
come near me. Teachers don't come near me.
And then she got to year one, and I think Naomi was thinking, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
Has gone to the
100%.
teacher. And the
Imagine.
teacher said,
But also,
the year one teacher said it was a silent tantrum
Yeah,
that you had
apparently.
for 12 months.
what a grumpy little girl.
So, yeah, I'm like, what happened to you that you were like, I'm not talking
I
now.
think I was probably protesting going to school by the sounds of it.
I'm not going to talk.
Pre-primary, I'm not going to talk. That'll
What can
teach
I,
them.
as my little, how old are you, 5-year-old self,
That'll
what
teach
can
them.
I do?
I want to be at home in the pool.
I'm going
What can
to
I
not
do?
talk.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
And apparently my year one teacher was like, well, we're not having it, so you're going to talk. And then
Yeah.
I talked. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, the year one teacher made you get up and present in front of the class
Yeah.
like every day.
And now you can't shut me up. So
There you go. That was
thank
the
you.
building.
you should have enjoyed
of
that while
Ange
it lasted,
Stannett.
Mum.
So good.
So there you go. Ange is where she is today because of that resilience that she had in year one.
The challenges we embraced in
Yeah.
year one.
That's perfect. So then I thought, all right, there's another story that we were actually talking about when we were away in Melbourne. And Ange used to fight with her brother Tom all the time. And she just randomly at the breakfast table just goes, yeah, Tom threw a pen in my eye one time.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? So explain the story of the pen in the eye and the eye patch.
Yeah, well, first of all, Tom and I just butted heads because, as you do with siblings,
Yeah,
like we're like the
always.
same person pretty much, but he was just a bit older and had a really good arm, obviously. But I'll set the scene. Like, it was before school, so I'm 5 years younger than Tom.
Yep.
So he would have been like maybe year 7, maybe it was year 2 when I was talking. And he had a bit more of a mouth on me.
You talk too much.
Yeah, talk too much.
Pen
He
in
said,
the
"Shut up,
eye."
old teacher." No, so it was before school. Him and Mum were having an argument. So he was up on the table. I was on the floor in the lounge room tying up my shoes, I'm pretty sure. And there was a fair distance in between us. So they were arguing away, and I just thought I would throw my 10 cents in, as you do as a little sister.
I just
And
got...
I was like, well, he's got my pen. So I said, Tom, that's my pen. Give me my pen back then. It wasn't a part of the initial argument. And Tom goes, oh, you want your pen back? Something along those lines. Throws it at me. Bang. I couldn't tell. Like, it's actually, it was double what we're
Yeah.
apart here now, Miller.
Yeah.
I'm down on the floor. Tom's at the table, throwing this pen across the room. clearly I've not thought to block it
Didn't
or
see
blink.
it. Didn't
But
close your eyes.
It has come and
No, it
hit me,
hasn't.
bang, straight on the eyeball.
I think you have a
Ow.
reflex. You blink for that reason.
Well, I'm hoping for my own athletic development that I just didn't see him throw it in the first place, so I didn't actually respond.
When something gets this close to your eye, you'd have to.
You would think so, but apparently not.
Maybe he really had some force on it. You didn't see it.
Not too much
Was it
force. It didn't stick in. Like
Okay.
it went bonk.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's
Like dropped. But I'll tell you what. Within the space of me realising that this pen had just hit me straight on the eyeball,
Yeah.
he was out the door.
yeah.
'Cause
Your
he
mum
knew
said
mum
that.
Knew he was like,
She
"Mum
said
was
she
off.
was. Your
You
mum
are
said she
in
was,
trouble.
Yeah.
She was dealing with you, and she couldn't find Tom.
No,
and
well,
she,
it happened. I think Mum was in the kitchen, but you had to go through the kitchen to get out the door. So Tom would have been up and out in a
Yeah.
flash. Adam, oldest brother, caretaker, caregiver, the most calm person you ever meet. Doesn't like fighting, doesn't like arguments. Was already on the job, getting the toilet paper, bang, on the eye, tying my shoes, getting me ready for school. And I'm pretty sure Mum was probably down the driveway screaming at Tom, who had bolted.
Yeah, that's great.
We didn't know where he was, so Mum got us ready. We went to the doctor. Eye drops, eye patch. I was in an eye patch for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh.
They almost want to give me a pirate one, but I was like, no.
No.
So they gave me like a white one.
Yeah.
didn't
Got to
someone
school.
draw an eye on it?
My teacher drew an eyeball on it. I was like, can it get any worse? Meanwhile, we get to school and the teachers have called Mum being like, hey, Tom's just rocked up. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, well, good. Don't have to worry about where he is. But he's run from home to school because he didn't want Mum to get it,
No.
to catch him.
Oh
and it was
my
a fair hike. So
Crazy. Good
well
on
done,
you,
Tom. But that's just one of many stories.
Brothers.
about
Oh,
Did
brothers.
you,
I
do you
tell
have
you
any
what.
brothers.
stories with Ben?
I just have one that I remember. So we used to so we had boxing gloves and we used to practice
Really?
boxing. So that's already
as you do.
as that's going to end badly, isn't it? Anyway, so he was the one that used to have the gloves on because it hurt less to get hit with the gloves on
Yeah.
than it does to just
Bare knuckle fighting.
I was
At what age?
that's right. I'm bare knuckle fighting. So I was bare knuckles. He had the gloves on, and he got we're just going at it, and then he just gives me a round. And it's not like it was like we were fighting, but pretending
Yeah,
like we're
with
fighting.
the gloves.
He goes with this roundhouse.
He just forgot his own strength.
Yeah, and then he goes. My favorite part. He says, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were fighting so well that I thought I was in a real fight." And I was like,
Come on.
That is a cop out of don't go and tell Mum that I just punched you in the face that hard because it knocked me
Oh.
over.
Nah.
It was so hard that it knocked me over. I'm up 6 and 8.
concussion.
And he's knocked me over, and I was like, he was like, don't cry. Oh, you were
I've
just
got
fighting.
one for
you were
you.
fighting so good that I thought that I
Brothers don't
forgot, and I
cry.
thought I was in a real fight.
Oh, that's so
How
funny.
funny.
Brothers, hey?
Yeah.
I've got 2, actually.
Go.
Both Tom. He came home one day from school and he was a bit naughty. He'd been in a bit of a scrap with a kid in primary school, so they were young. He came home and he was like, hey, do you want to see how hard I punched this kid today? Being the little sister, I was like, yes, I do want to see that. Show me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get the biggest couch cushion we could find.
Why?
Pops it on my tummy.
Yeah.
And he punches me in the gut so hard that it clearly, obviously it was going to wind me.
Yeah.
Crying, winded, that weird noise
The
that you make when
horrid,
you're winded.
yeah.
And then he's trying to explain to Mum that I told him to punch me. You can imagine how that went down.
Oh,
was an
classic.
idiot.
See,
Who
that's
does that?
so funny. I was the oldest. It was different.
Yeah,
I used to
Everyone knew
commentate my
youngest.
2 younger brothers fighting.
Yeah.
And I used to be
Yeah,
like,
great.
yeah, Aiden, get him back because he hit you that hard that time. Like, come on, don't let him hit you like that. I used to be in the corner.
You almost add
I
fuel to
was.
the fire.
Yeah,
And I
you're
remember
adding
one
fuel.
time, Mum came through and she yelled at Nathan, yelled at Aiden, and then she said, and you're copping it too because you're encouraging them. And then I also vividly remember that my youngest brother Aiden was so naughty. It's like, when you just get that, you don't know how to regulate your emotions when you're young. And I remember him, Dad was really mad at him one day and he locked himself in the toilet and my dad unscrewed the toilet lock.
Oh,
just
that's
to get
so
to him.
good.
It was
Oh, that's
wild.
so
It was
good.
actually wild. But Mum's classic. She yells all the time. I remember her one time. I don't know. If Brett's gonna have to cut this out. Took her double plugger off her foot and just threw it down the corridor.
Who, at you?
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Oh, the thong off.
Oh,
and
my
ditched
mum
it.
has thrown many things at my brother, don't worry.
How good's that?
So good.
How good's being the
He
youngest
asked
though?
for
Because
it.
I reckon the oldest always gets in trouble for things that you do, as the youngest.
yeah.
I remember one where we were
100%.
bouncing on the trampoline and then Ben's jumped on my hair and he's jumped on my hair or whatever, and I've sworn.
Yeah.
And Mum comes out and she's like, "You listen to what's coming out of her mouth," and it was Ben's fault because I swore.
Yes, Mum.
And I was like hell mad at him because he just jumped on my hair. But like, fair, I probably had it
That's so
out,
funny.
like flailing. I had long hair, flailing around on the trampoline.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Crack the
but he's
egg,
got
crack
in
the egg.
trouble for me swearing because
No.
it's obviously his fault.
That's
you
so
saying
funny.
that your brother locked himself in the toilet, that was the best escape, right? That was like safe room.
it's
home
where you had
base.
to go,
You're
yeah.
safe. I had to do that one time.
44 home, get
Yeah,
to the toilet.
literally.
Oh, no. Yeah, you
I
can't
reckon
unlock it.
The only time I chipped Tom in the jaw one time. I'm not gonna lie. He
I hope Tom, this whole episode's about Tom. Can he please listen?
I will send it to him. I'll say,
Yeah,
we're
good.
good now. We're best mates now. But yeah, anyways, he was chirping at me the whole way home. I reckon I was in high school, so I was like chirping back. And then, you know, when your brothers just keep going because they get a little reaction, they keep going,
Yeah.
keep going, keep
Yeah.
going, keep going.
No.
And I just perfectly timed it for when Mum had unlocked the front door so I could make my escape.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had to jumped, smacked him, bolted to the toilet. Thought I'd got away with it.
This is wild.
Locked the door, waited in there for so long, thinking the coast was clear, came out and went to run to my room, and Mum had been waiting in the laundry, which was beside the passageway,
No.
grabbed my arm as soon as I ran out of the toilet.
No.
The toilet
That's-
is the safe
I
room.
love
Joe,
those
you probably weren't
stories.
even waiting in there for that long. You were
But
like, yeah, like
you
a
know, as a
minute.
kid,
Like
you
as a
think
kid,
you're
you're
like,
like, yeah, it's been
so long.
ages.
Yeah.
Your mum's just like,
That's-
she'll be out in a minute.
Yeah.
I absolutely love these. And I guess, well, should we move forward though? But
Okay.
speaking of kids, I hope they're not as naughty as what you and Tom were, but Ange's little nieces and nephews, Sebastian, we got Sophia, is it Sophia?
Sophia, yeah.
Sophia and Scarlett.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
SS and S.
3 little,
Are they the best?
they're the best.
Oh.
There's so
They're so
much
cute.
energy,
And
bundles of
that's
joy.
Adam's
much,
kids.
Yeah, and much nicer to each other than what me, Adam, and Tom were. I don't know what happened in that house. That was bad.
And I feel like it's so funny that they actually live with your parents though, and
Yeah.
your mum and dad are like going through it all over again.
They are. They love it though. They love those kids. But
That's so good.
no, they just grow up so fast as well. Scarlett is the youngest and she's like gonna
Naughty.
rule the house. She's a naughty girl, but she's so funny. I love
She's
watching
so
her cause chaos.
cute.
Yeah, she's so cute.
I love that, and then Miller, you've got little
I've
Daisy.
got little Daisy now. She's super, super cute. So Thursday's a Daisy day and everyone keeps putting everything on Thursdays and I get mad about it because we have it's obviously our like full day training day, but we have like the morning off. So I'm like, yeah. So Mum's got Daisy on Thursday, so I'll go in the morning and like go and hang out,
Oh.
go to the park and all sorts of little things. And we got like
Cute.
the
So
group
sweet.
chat and they send through all the videos and photos and stuff. But yeah, that's why we kept doing podcasts on Thursdays. I was
Well, I
like,
can't do it.
I was like,
Yeah.
can't do it, guys. Sorry, that day's out. It's
Yeah.
Daisy Day. But how good are nieces and nephews? They're just
Oh,
adorable.
best job in the world being
Although you've got
auntie.
Don't have any.
That's the problem with being the oldest. It's like, well, you've either got to wait for one of your young brothers or have them
that's-
yourself.
But also,
Hey, you can always come over and see Seb, Soph, and Scarlett anytime.
I'm okay. I think I'll have my time. I'll have my.
I'm
the
okay,
kids.
actually.
I'll have
Kids
my
wait.
time with children. That's okay. We've got Lisa Webb's
I'm
kids
a
are coming
child
to the club.
myself.
Yeah.
I can come and see. I feel like Scarlett's got a bit of my energy. Can't wait
Yeah,
to be
I reckon
around
she does
her.
actually.
But that's elite. Should we?
So good.
Do we have anything else to talk about? Oh, and I guess speaking of non-human children, Angie's got little summer girl.
I was like,
I didn't know where that
non-human
was going.
teacher. I was not sure where that was
Oh,
going
no.
either.
Really not sure. Summer girl.
Yeah,
Summer
she's your
girl.
child.
She's kind of a child. She's big now.
Tell us about her. She's a
She's a dog.
border. I'm not a border. Why did I
Not a
say
border
that?
collie. She's a
Labrador,
Labrador cross
golden
Groodle.
retriever. No,
Groodle.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Golden retriever. Groodle. Huh? What?
No, what,
Yes.
what is she?
That's
Is
what
she
she is.
Labrador and golden retriever.
No, Labrador,
No, Labrador
and Groodle.
and Groodle. Golden retriever.
Poodle.
But I wish she had a little bit more poodle because she sheds so,
So much
much
hair.
and it's so much
Yeah.
vacuuming. But
a
I
golden
love
girl.
that little girl. She's very good. She's great at walking now.
She's
How
Now?
old is she now?
She's like one in
Oh, she almost won.
she's next level.
like a week.
I feel like dogs, it's like, it takes till they're like 5 till
Well,
they
I
settle
didn't even
down.
know
Well,
that you had a
especially
dog,
her.
Miller.
Oh, yeah, I do. She's very old
Cassie
now. She's
girl.
like 14 or something now.
Oh,
Cassie. Oh, Cassie.
Cassie girl.
Cassie and
Cassie.
Summer. That's
Nah, Summer's
great.
good though. She's like outside now. She's an outside
No.
dog. So much easier.
She was always, but also they've got to go through that puppy phase. They're always going to be a bit crazy.
Oh, she's gonna be crazy for another like 18 months.
I
at
just
least.
remember, I'm going to
then.
tell this story about Ange and I went for coffee one morning
No, I need to up
in
my,
South
like, public
Perth.
Indemnity insurance.
And no, you do. And we've taken Summer out, and she would have been like literally, I reckon, 6 months old at this point. And Ange like was just looking around this park. It was very quiet. We thought, we've got the ball. We'll take her off the lead because it's super quiet and there's no one around. Anyways, let Summer off the lead. And I reckon this is the first person that has walked onto the park. This old man.
I don't know where he came from.
Like-
He appeared out of nowhere.
Like, yeah, he was quite old, not very mobile. And he's walking across this oval, and Summer has just taken off, forgotten about the ball, ran up to him and launched herself into his back.
no.
And
Launched
he
herself at this older gentleman.
has stumbled.
Hit him square in the back. Bang. He wouldn't have seen it coming. He stumbled forward. He didn't fall over, thankfully. He didn't fall over.
Oh,
and then
thank
Summer's
goodness.
just been like, pretty much like, boop, and then run back to us. I'm like, oh my God. Doing the whole, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So
No.
sorry.
Oh,
She
that's
came
so
straight
funny.
back to us on the lead. Off we went.
Yeah,
We're going home now.
We're
You've
done.
been naughty
And
girls.
you're done.
So funny.
And we're done.
Don't ever do that again to me.
We could
No
open this
more.
up to the fans. The fans, send us in any funny stories about your pet. I know Brett will send something in about his adopted. What do they call them? What do you...
Guide dog like.
Guide dog in training.
The worst thing about that
Andy.
is you have to give him back.
It's horrendous, but
He's
Brett's
doing it for a good. He's doing it for a good cause.
But I know there's a video of Brett.
Andy and
someone.
Summer are the best of friends.
Oh, great. Well, we can get a vision
I'll
of
send you
Brett
some
trying to
photos.
pull Andy and he's not having a bar of it.
Oh, I love that when dogs don't want to like go home from somewhere or they don't want to
That
walk
was
anymore.
Next level,
They're like
though,
done.
Andy.
So
That's so classic.
from the fans, send in your dogs, your cats if you're Gabby O'Sullivan.
Not your toes.
Not your toes,
Your
your
real
real life dogs.
We've talked
share
enough
your
about
pet
toes
thing.
in this podcast.
Share your pet stories with us. We want to hear next week. All right, great. You're
Okay.
on, Miller.
All right, let's talk about the real stuff. So our final game, well, actually, technically, we can still make finals. I thought we were done.
Same.
We only have to win by 80 points.
It's 15
and
goals.
Then
All right, here we go.
15 goals plus some other things have to happen. So it's
Meg's Kaufman.
it's not out of
Yeah. Break that record.
We
again,
need
boo.
your 3 times 5.
Meg, do that times 3 more, and then everyone else jump on board as
Done.
well. Well, likely our final game, but not out of the question, against Sydney this Sunday, 2:05 p.m. AWST Standard Time. I can't not say that now.
I know.
Fremantle Oval. And we did say before that is Pride Round, wearing our Pride jumpers designed by Ange Stannett. So not only, we'll show that, let's show it. Where's best to show
There it
it,
is.
Brett?
And you can point to it.
Is that good? Just it's a bit far away. I
Right
think
there.
Ange needs to hold on to it. Anyway, not only is this a beautiful jumper, but we're obviously so proud of you, Ange, for the powerful message behind your
Oh,
design.
yeah. You hold that side behind.
And I know specifically the little part down here at the bottom on the back of the jumper is showcasing the statistics. So some of the really harrowing statistics and hardship still felt within the LGBTQIA plus community. And we're going to highlight a few of those. Do you know them off the top of
I've
your
actually got
head,
my
or you've got them there?
comment here.
I'll let you do the honours.
So obviously, just on the front though, it is the flag. Last year we had the chevrons in the rainbow colours.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this year we've got the flag, but kind of turned on the side.
Yeah, the progress flag is like turned on its side. So I didn't really want to, when we first started talking about it, like I was thinking back to our first couple of Guernseys and the bold chevrons. I remembered how much we like froth putting them on.
Yep.
And like everyone's joy
So
in the
good.
rooms, like where were we? Richmond? Was it? Or
Collingwood.
Collingwood was the first
I
one.
think, was Collingwood the first one or was it
Yeah.
Richmond the first? I think Richmond might have been the first one.
I don't know. It was one of them. I think we wore it 2
Yeah,
weeks
we
in
did
a
wear
row,
it
hey?
two in a row.
Yeah.
Either way,
So
they were both
good.
good games. We loved them both.
and it was just like
vibes up.
how
everywhere.
bold the chevrons were. Didn't really want to lose that impact. So yeah, we managed to work in the extra colours, and I guess to start the process, I was working with Anna upstairs, and she's incredible at what she does. She does all the design work, and I initially was like, yeah, like stoked to be asked to design this. I was also pretty daunted by it because I was like, I knew how amazing the first two were and how much everyone loved them as well. And yeah, I guess once we started to get talking about it, and off the back of Pride Round last year, doing a few interviews, getting asked like why Pride Round is still important. Going into some of those interviews, I'd come across some of these mental health stats. So I wanted to like really try and include that because it does show why it's so important still to have Pride Round and have these Pride Guernseys, and they mean so much. So, you know, we wanted to make it something bigger than the rainbow flag on the front of a jersey or just rainbow colours on a jersey. We wanted to have a bit deeper meaning and something bigger than something that can have a longer lasting effect than just like one sort of jumper in one game.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got the 6 stats. I've got them here.
Hit us with them.
I'll hit you with it.
Yep.
So first one being LGBTI people are nearly 6 times more likely to experience and be diagnosed with depression compared to the general population. Next one, 74.8% of LGBTI people aged 18 and over have had considered attempting suicide at some point during their lives. LGBTI people aged 18 and over were over 18 times more likely to have considered attempting suicide in the previous 12 months. 22% of LGBTIQ people aged 18 and over reported having ever experienced homelessness. Only 6% of LGBTI plus youth are involved in a team sport, in comparison to 70% of non-LGBTI youth. And you can kind of see that how Anna's included the benchmarks, the double benchmarks. So that's the wider community, general population, and then obviously the one above is LGBTI.
Wow.
And then the final one's 82% of LGB participants said that they have witnessed or experienced homophobia in sport. So yeah, it's pretty wild when you hear those stats. It definitely took me back, and I guess we wanted to include it so that we could spark more conversation. Through conversation comes change, trying to change attitudes, beliefs, behaviours, try to reduce sort of the stigma around it all, reduce discrimination, create a safe space for people in the community to come to AFLW, which I think AFLW have done a really good job of since the very beginning.
That's
as
what
well.
I was going to say. So AFLW has done such incredible things, and I think sometimes being in it, you're like, oh yeah, like it feels good. Like this is what the rest of, but it's not.
Yeah,
the rest of society is not the way that the AFLW community is, where it is super inclusive, and generally a safer space than out there in the general population. So sometimes when you're so engrossed in something and you're like, no, like we're making change, but then you go back to those statistics and you're like, well, this is a lot bigger than obviously just us here, but if we can continue to be the front runners in that space, and women's sport is a good place for that, because lots of people will watch it and you can influence in that way, and trying to use the platform that we've got to continue to influence in a positive way.
It's not even just about the athletes as well. It's obviously about our crowds that we attract. I think everyone's so different and come from different backgrounds, and I think like diversity in the people we attract to our games is something that makes AFLW so special, and I think something that is really embraced through the marketing of AFLW. We've got these bright colours, bold. We're trying to be unapologetic and really encapsulate those values, and I think that the AFL Women's have done that incredibly well this season, and Freo are going to continue to help us do that as well. Yeah,
and I think it's such a complex discussion to still have, but it's also such a simple thing for us to be able to do, to create a space where people feel comfortable to be themselves in and come to our game and see people on the field playing who maybe their younger selves or the young kids who are there can actually relate to as well, and see, oh, that's really cool, these people are doing that. Which, to be like, there wasn't really that when we were growing up. And so, like if we can obviously create more conversations, start to create more change for the better, hopefully these stats start to change in the future, but it's not going to be from not addressing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Very good.
Oh, and also donations. So a portion of sales from all Freo merch goes to Living Proud.
Perfect.
Which is incredible as well. So hopefully, we get
your merch.
Get your merch.
Get your merch.
Be all colourful. Get down to Freo Oval.
This Sunday.
It's going to be, and it's always a fantastic round to be a part of. But
so fun.
And Sydney, in saying that, have done it fantastic. They're one of the only ones in the men's that also have a Pride Guernsey. So they've also been sort of the front runners in that. So I feel really privileged that we get to combine with them on the weekend and put on a good show. But it should be a good game and a good round, a good cause to be a part of.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Ange, how was your third podcast experience?
Fun.
Yeah.
How good
Bit
that?
more, yeah.
So
Less
casual.
structured, more
Just
casual. You've
off the
learned all
cuff.
about my childhood.
Yeah.
Really get
childhood
to know Ange
stories.
Stannett, the kid now. It's great.
So good. Well, if we have you on the fourth time, I don't know what we're going to talk
We're
about.
going to have to talk about like afterlife.
Yeah. What are you planning
What's the next stage of life?
after this? I was going to say we have to finish the podcast because Aussie the Eagles,
yeah.
Aussie the
How
Eagles
good's
about to go
that?
around and start practicing. I wish
No,
we could have done
bird
that.
swoops
We could have
me.
been
I'm
here.
done.
Why can't we be here while he practices?
Do you remember the time though when
It went rogue.
it went rogue and we couldn't warm up for the derby because the eagle would come and like sat up here and some people were just like sitting here and he just decided to do what he wanted to do and
What's
didn't
his
want to go
name?
down.
What's his
Aussie.
name? Aussie.
Aussie.
Aussie just wanted a
Aussie.
bevy
Isn't
and some
there
hot
3
chippies.
Aussies?
Yeah, I think there's
There's
not
best seats in the house.
There's not. Yeah, you wanted to. He, she. I don't even know if it's a he or a she, but anyway,
They.
Aussies got to do their flight path. I don't know, couple of laps
Oh,
around
well.
and land in the middle.
That's why he
So
gets
we'd
paid the big bucks.
better get off. But it's been a grand time in the Bankwest Best Seats. Thank you so much for listening to the Rollers and the Rockers podcast, brought to you by Bankwest here in the Bankwest Best Seats. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And as always, Drisco's
I've gotta get it up.
quickly looking for a.
She's
Quote?
not prepared. Drisco's not prepared.
We always get to
Google's
this.
greatest life quotes.
We always get to this point where Google quickly comes up.
No, we don't. I've written them in the last 3 weeks. All my life, I thought air was free until I bought a bag of chips. See ya.
That's a good one.